Hello everyone, happy Friday. I've decided to do a video vlog on Fridays called Fishhaus Fridays because I do in fact live in a fish house. So I figured for this vlog series, basically I'll just give you guys weekly updates of how everyone's doing, how the fish room's coming around, any kind of fishy updates I get or news or anything like that. We'll start with the 20 gallons since it was my first live bear tank. So we've got, excuse me, my allergies are atrocious. It's still code red here for asthma. It has been a rough week for me. Been kind of getting through, but trying not to go outside too much because anytime I'm outside, just absolutely atrocious. So, as you can see, this tank is doing really well. Cory colony's doing well. They're growing. I definitely have at least 2 females, which I'm pretty excited about. And the way I could tell that they're female is they're much bigger than the others, and they also have that bulge that a lot of females will have. As you can see back here, I ended up taking one of the, oh, of course, a little shy there. But I ended up taking one of the plecos that I got. I got 6 plecos at the trade show I was at, and one of them doesn't really have super long fins, so, and she was the smallest, so I decided to go ahead and pull her, and I actually put her in here. I was having a really bad problem with brown algae, which, as you can see, that is why my hornwort looks so bad. I found out it ended up getting covered in brown algae, and it wasn't dying, it was just covered in brown algae, and basically the algae was suffocating it. So I kind of cleaned it off a little bit. You can kind of see some green poking back through, so I'm hoping if I keep cleaning it, hopefully it'll come back and be happy. If not, I'll just grab some more out of another tank or one of the tubs or something. But I pulled that pleco because it actually was getting bad enough it was all over the glass. The tank looked pretty gnarly yesterday, believe it or not. It's still got a little bit on the glass. I'm not sure if I can zoom in. Like, you can see some little spots kind of here and there of brown patches, but for the most part she actually did a great job cleaning the glass. So I'm pretty pleased with her being in here, and she gets all the food to herself, which I'm sure she's pretty happy about. Doesn't have to compete with the other 5 plecos that are in the colony that I'm trying to raise up, so I'm sure she's happy. I'm happy. It's a win-win. As you can see, these snails are growing like crazy. When I got them, they were about pea size, so you can kind of see how they're doing now. And there are 4 still in here. I'm not sure where the 4th one is. They get all up in the plants and stuff, so but they're doing really well. I'm actually really pleased with how they're doing. You can see a little bit of mark on the shell from where the water quality change happened, but other than that, these guys are doing really well, and I'm quite pleased. I'm hoping that within the month we'll maybe have a clutch of eggs from mystery snails. This one is definitely the largest, so I'm hoping that the others will catch up soon and we'll have babies. And like I said, the Cory cats are doing great. They're nice and big and healthy, so I'm hoping they continue to grow so we can maybe get some eggs from them. I have a Marina breeder box already and some methylene blue. As you can see, the guppy fry are everywhere in this tank. I literally have them all over the tank. I think the last time I counted there were 23 nebulous steel guppy fry in here, and they all range from about, I would say, a week and a half old to 3 weeks old, 3-4 weeks old. So I'm definitely pleased with them. I've got a couple of mamas that look close to going, like that mama right there. She's looking a little big. She's getting there. So I've actually decided that I'm going to take them and put them out in the summer tub. And I know I said I was going to do the Dumbo mosaics out in the first summer tub, but I really got to thinking about it. These guys are probably the cheapest guppy I have. For a trio of them, it's like 18 bucks. Whereas for trio of the Dumbo, it's 35 to 45, depending on where I got them from. So I think I'm going to try them simply because if something does go wrong, I won't be out as much money. And I do love these guys, but if I had to choose a strain to go, it would be them. And of course, if you watch the unboxing video, my last unboxing video, I got a surprise strain in that, and I need space for them because I don't have the tank space for them, and my boyfriend has not agreed to get another tank yet, so I've got to have space to put them. And they're actually quite a high quality strain. They're yellow tiger guppies, so I definitely want them inside. I want to be able to keep an eye on them. I want to be able to make sure that they're doing well, and I just want to be able to see them because they're absolutely gorgeous. They're possibly my new favorites. Possibly. Still love my Dumbos, but they're getting there. So they're just absolutely gorgeous, and I'll show you those when we move on to the quarantine tank. But these guys also seem quite hardy, so I think they'll do well out in the tub. They're a little smaller as well, so I think they'll do pretty well out in the tub. I think they'll have a good time. They're already reproducing like crazy. However, that does mean I have to catch every single baby out of this tank, which will be super fun. So I'll have to pull all the plants out and just kind of scoop, scoop, scoop to try to get them. But the tank itself is doing well. It's getting nice and steady. I cut back on feeding a little bit because the ammonia was getting a teensy bit high. So I did cut back on feeding. I still have increased pellets for my guys. I don't think I was actually feeding them enough pellets despite having to cut back feeding everybody else. But they weren't quite as fat as I wanted, so I've actually increased their pellets, which I think they're a good weight now. Especially like this little crazy one here. I think they're a pretty good weight, and I think they're doing well, so I'm going to keep that, but I didn't decrease the amount of guppy flake I was putting in, because I really do think that it was just a little much for the tank to handle with how much food I was trying to put in. They're not fry eaters, so I don't feel like I have to really stack them full of food to try to discourage them from eating babies. In fact, I've got breeder traps for all the baby eaters, like the Dumbo mosaics. I have a breeder trap now, so I don't have to overfeed them either. I can just put the breeder trap in. I'm actually going to use it reverse for them. I'm going to let them have the 55 and put the breeder trap probably in the corner to see if the baby's a safe place to go. And I'll kind of go over that when we get to that tank. But as far as the plants go in this tank, everything but the hornwort's doing really well. My grow out for flame moss is crazy. My grow out for Java moss is good. I've got a Christmas moss propagated on a rock there. It's doing really well. Subwassertang is growing like crazy. I'm actually really, really proud of the growth on the Subwassertang. And of course, my propagated flame moss is growing like a madman. So, pretty excited. My one little sprig of water wisteria that I got here, water sprite, actually has reproduced a lot because I literally only got one tiny sprig of it, and it's a nice little bloom now. The Java ferns seem to be doing okay. They've actually put off some babies. I need to go in there and pull the babies off. But it's definitely coming together the way I pictured it. The shrimp, I think they're all in hiding right now. But the ghost shrimp are doing pretty well. I haven't lost any of those since the initial loss, which I feel like is just kind of happens with ghost shrimp when you get them from the store. But yeah, the community's coming together. It's doing pretty well. I'm pretty excited about putting these guys out in the tub, see how they do. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they kind of come up with. I even thought about I might throw a Dumbo female or two out there to mix with these guys. These guys are Nebula Steels. However, they don't really look like the original Nebula Steels. The original Nebula Steels was developed by a gentleman named Pete Mang, who crossed Dumbo mosaics, or not Dumbo, regular mosaics, and Galaxy. And I think his Supercross, which I'm not entirely sure what all was in his Supercross, but it was something. Originally crossed them and bred them. However, they weren't bred for many, many generations before they were sold. So they kind of are just fancy mutt guppies, which I always tell people who buy them. Like, they may not breed all exactly carbon copy of each other. You're going to get a wide variety of colors and shapes and things. So, definitely know that if you are buying these guys, not just from me, but from anybody. They're not necessarily going to breed true. So, and I don't know why my camera makes that guppy's mouth look white. It's not white. I have no idea. This camera is quite old, and it's not really the best quality. It's from 2005, so we're rocking a little old, but it's what I have for now. So I don't normally use cameras, so I don't buy them because I just use my phone for everything. So I'm kind of using an old camera that we had. So definitely that guppy's mouth is not white at all. It's a little lighter color. She has like black kind of around her head and her mouth, but it's not white. So anyway, that is, I think, everything for the tank that I wanted to go over for this tank. I'm pretty pleased with the amount of brown algae that she ate, so I'm pretty pleased by that. They've been working hard. I'm pleased by the babies. They're definitely thriving. They have a lot to eat, especially with that brown algae. So they've been doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it and how they're doing. So I'll break and come back with the next tank. Alright, so just giving kind of a quick rundown on our 55 in the entry living room. This is the one that's kind of a hodgepodge of different stuff. As you can see, the bristlenose plecos are growing. They got nice little fat bellies. They're doing well. That one I think is the second smallest one there. And even that one is growing quite well. All of them are doing quite well. I've been feeding them zucchini and cucumber. I've got some green beans to try them on, because I know some people feed them the green beans. They seem to like it. The snails, as you can see, are exploding. I definitely am to a point where I can sell them. So I've got some up for sale for sure on my website, ncguppy.com. Both the bladder and the ram's horn are doing magnificent in this tank. My ivory mystery snails are doing really well. They're definitely growing. Let's see, that's 2. There's one down here. There's one over here. They're definitely doing pretty well. I'm pretty excited about that. There are 6 in there, I believe, but I'm not sure where they all are. Mollies are doing well. They're getting fat. I'm getting ready to move probably 1 or 2 of them over to the birthing tank. Has been, I think, about 27 days since they gave birth, so they should be going any day now. My 5-year-old diamond tetras are doing fantastic as always. They're gorgeous. They're always just, they've lived through a lot, and they're pretty old, so they're doing quite well. Always enjoy them, of course, even though they will eat the fry, so I do have to pull the mamas out of this tank, which is fine. They're just my other live bearer mamas, so they're not as big of a deal. And the platies I have to pull out anyway, because the male platy, that gentleman right there, will hound the females like so bad that I'm afraid they're gonna die. Like, they just hover in the corner super stressed out. So I've got a mama in the tank now. She actually looks like she's gonna go soon. She's pretty big. Oh, my male pleco here, I don't know if I can zoom in enough. He is getting his little bristles there. You can kind of see them. There we go. He's getting his little bristles. Yay! I'm quite excited. And then that might be the other male back there. And I know I still have the hang on back on this tank. I did just get the sponge filters in, finally. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm probably going to hook sponge filters up this weekend so I can get them working and kind of doing their thing for a month or two, and then I'll pull the hang on back off. I'll be so excited not to hear Niagara Falls anymore. But I do have it a little bit down from the top in the hang on back, and on the hang on back's defense there. I do have it a little bit down from the top, a little less so right now because I knew I'd be recording, so I filled it up a little high. But I've been keeping it down low in hopes of getting those mystery snail egg clutches. So the two Dumbo Mosaic boys that I have here that I raised up are doing pretty well. They're just kind of hanging out until I decide if I'm going to put them in with the other Dumbos or if I'm going to do just one male at a time, that kind of thing. So overall, I am pretty happy with this tank. And definitely happy with the bristlenose. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they've been coming along well. Their fins are lovely. So I'm gonna go ahead and move down. Oh, I almost saw it. There are two. I think I missed her. There are two fry in there that managed to survive even without me catching them. There is one molly fry and one platy fry, and I will kind of watch them for a while, see if I can catch them. Oh, I just saw, there's the platy in the back, and there's the platy in the front. The molly was in the back. They kind of zoom around underneath, kind of hidden. They have been popping up a little more lately, though, that I've noticed, so they're getting a little braver, and the fish aren't going after them, so I'm pretty pleased with them too. Be excited to see what they turn out like. They're a little mystery bonus in the tank. I'll probably let them stay if they're ladies, just because you survived that tank without me catching you. You deserve to live out in the tank and be happy. So I'll probably end up keeping them if they're ladies. If they're males, I can't keep them, of course, because it'll throw off my ratio. But if they're ladies, they can stay in the tank. So obviously this tank is quite high stocked. I do have to do a lot of water changes on it. Probably every 3 days I do a 25% water change, just because there is a lot in this tank right now. I was actually thinking of possibly moving the mollies and the platies out to tubs for the summer. So I'll kind of think on that some more, see what I want to do. But that might be an option. I definitely want to set it up, especially once I get those sponge filters. And I've got a sponge intake I think I'm going to wrap around the intake for the hang on back. I definitely don't want anything to disturb if I can get pleco babies, so I might move them out. Obviously I'm not getting rid of my diamond tetras though, because they've lived with me for 5 years, so they deserve to stay, and I don't really have another tank to put them in, so they can stay in this tank. They've lived in this tank for 5 years, so I think they should get to stay. I think that's pretty much it for this tank. On the flame moss and stuff, it's all growing, so that's good. I'm definitely going to have some of that for sale. I like to see a little tiny bit of stick through before I sell them, so I'm pretty pleased with how they're coming along. The Christmas moss is going like crazy. You can see this one's super bushy, but it's definitely doing pretty well. There's that little molly back there again, hanging out. And the platy, I think, is right by the rock. Yep. So that's the little fry in there. And so all the plants and stuff are doing well. Obviously, I've got some of the fake plants replaced with real plants now. I've got, I finally put in the hornwort, like got it all in order and put plant weights on it. And then of course the lovely Anacaris here or Anacris is growing like crazy. So I even broke off a piece and put it over in the corner here to start growing. So I have a little grow out over there. So it's doing quite well. It's pretty happy. So I think that's pretty much it for this tank. Now I did expect earlier to come to wake up and see platy babies, because my platy has started to square off and open up, and she was showing some signs yesterday of possible birthing. She was doing some quick jerky motions and doing that thing where they kind of go forward and then they back up and go forward and back up. So I really thought I was going to have platy babies today. However, she did not go last night. So I did, however, go to my quarantine tank this morning. And lo and behold, there were babies in there. So I was like, oh my goodness. And I thought to myself, well, I'll just kind of let them kind of do their thing, and then if they live, they live. If they die, they die. I don't even know what kind they are, because of course the tigers are in the breeder trap, so they could have easily swam through the holes. So I don't even really know whether they're Dumbo or tiger. So I thought I'll just leave them in there. I'll put some spawn mops in there and I'll leave them in there. And I went to go do the tank cleaning today, and all of the Dumbo mosaics came out of hiding and immediately started chasing down the little babies trying to eat them. And I was like, I can't. I'm too soft-hearted. I can't do this. So I ended up getting all the little babies and putting them in the bucket. So they're over here in the bucket, swimming around somewhere in there. Are 6 little tiny babies, because I am weak and I had to save them. So there's some right there. I put them in the bucket, and I'm going to put a bubbler in the bucket and just kind of raise them in the bucket for a little bit until quarantine is done on these guys. And when quarantine is done on them, I'll just put them back in the 10-gallon quarantine tank, let them get raised up, and then see what they are. They'll be our mystery babies. We'll kind of check on them every week and see if we can tell what they are. They're either going to be tiger or Dumbo. So hopefully they make it. Hopefully they do well in the little bucket. As you can see, the mosaics are doing fairly well. They're all kind of working on establishing dominance, so they're all kind of picking on each other and that kind of thing. And they're kind of, the females earlier were going at it through the breeder trap from the Dumbos and the tigers, so they're all kind of getting established. I did do 25% water change per the instructions of the medication today, and added in another packet of General Cure per the instructions today. So I'll wait another 2 days, and well, tomorrow I'll probably put in another one of a mithicillin, because you have to treat a mithicillin twice and General Cure twice. And again, always make sure you follow the packet instructions, mainly because if you don't, they could have developed immunities to the medication, so you always want to make sure you follow those instructions. So I'll do another round of mithicillin starting tomorrow, and then the day after I will do 25% water change, and then do another pack of amithicillin, then wait another day, do another 25% water change, and then do a pack of General Cure, wait 2 days, do another pack of General Cure, wait 2 days, and do a water change, which will kind of, I'll do a video on how I quarantine to kind of go over that a little easier and explain it better. I always semi-wing it, semi kind of do the instructions. I do some water changes in between when they say you should, but I kind of do it more so because I know the quarantine tank is overstocked as well. So, as you can tell, females are super feisty. They are, in fact, chasing each other all over the place as they kind of establish dominance. And that super large blue-tail female seems to be the dominant one. She is chasing everybody, so she's kind of establishing the pecking order there, that she is the queen. So they are doing well though, constantly eating, searching for food, constantly bickering amongst each other. So they're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy. These are pretty hardy fish. I had, of course, the Dumbos as well for the other time, and they did really well too. So I'm pretty confident that these guys will be a-okay. I'm not sure if I can get it to where it'll actually show. But let me see if I can get a top down for you guys of the tigers here. There he is. His yellow is super coming in. Of course, it's kind of hard to see because he's like right on the line where you can't really see him, but his yellow is super coming in. He's absolutely gorgeous. Color's a little off here. He's like a neon yellow. And the females are gorgeous. They're doing well. So I'm pretty excited about the way they're looking. He definitely looks a lot more red here. He's actually a lot more yellow than this. But this camera is kind of old, so I'll post some pictures up on my Facebook page too, so make sure to visit us at NC Guppy there to see those, of kind of a more accurate representation of his color. I'm not gonna lie, the camera was also set up for outdoor, so, because we used to use it a long time ago for horse shows, and me not being technologically savvy, I don't know what to do to get the colors to show true. So colors are a little bit off from what they look like in real life, but they're pretty good. But yeah, so that's this tank, and now the bucket. Can't wait to explain to my boyfriend that we're gonna have a bucket in our living room for a while with the arrows in it. I'm sure he'll love that. But definitely doing pretty well on here. And then of course across the way, take you across the way here. Now it is raining and it's super dark outside, so I'm not sure how super well we're going to be able to see them, but I've got the blue metals here in the quarantine tank. They actually appear to be doing really well, so I'm pretty excited. They're definitely looking way healthier. They're all eating, they're all active. So I'm pretty excited. I think they're gonna make it from their bout with Colmenares, and I think hopefully that is behind us. And again, it looks really washed out. It's unfortunately just kind of the color, and there's a really bad glare, of course, which I'm sorry about, but he is super nice looking, so I'm pretty excited. I did put, as I said, the fry mops in there. I also had to pull my Chinese algae eaters out of the 55 and put them in here for just temporary holding. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with those yet, but they were bothering the plecos, so I don't want anything to mess them up, so I just pulled them and threw them in here, since I was pretty sure that these guys were past their Colmenares stage, since it's been 2 weeks now, and they look pretty good. They're fully recovered and looking healthy. I did get some Rapashi superfood in. I got the spawn and grow in, which I'm going to give a try, and I'm going to drop to them. It's supposed to help with recovery too, though honestly their weight is looking really good for how thin they were. And they're definitely pregnant, as you can see, which I'm quite excited about. But even the one that was the thinnest female is looking pretty good, so I'm really pleased with how these guys are doing. And I don't even know, I think there's a Chinese algae eater there. So I've been dropping food in for them too, because as aggravating as they are, we don't want them to get hurt. So I'll probably maybe just try to sell them for a couple dollars just to make back what I got from them. But they're doing pretty well in there. They're a little shy and upset, of course, because I captured them the other day, but they're alive. They're doing fine. So anyway, that is pretty much it with this tank. I'm hoping that that bigger mama will drop within the next couple weeks. She's definitely starting to get that square shape, so I'm thinking probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I think that's pretty much it. This is a pretty boring tank in terms of what's in it. This is just a quarantine tank too, but it's my current only blue metal tank. And I thought about pulling these guys out and putting them in the tub, but I thought, oh god, they just recovered from disease. It might not be a good idea to toss them outside in the outside tub. So I think they're just going to live in the quarantine tank here for a while. And we'll see kind of what happens with them. I might just have to pull their babies and raise them in buckets too. Who knows? So that's pretty much them, and I will take a break and we'll be back with the other 55. Alright, so we're back. This is the 55 Dumbo Mosaic tank. And again, I think I'm going to probably pull a breeder trap and put it in the corner here. And I know it looks like the bottom is dirty. That is actually not. I used black diamond blasting sand in this tank, and it has little brown pieces in it which kind of look like poop, which in a way kind of makes it look like crap, and in a way kind of makes it look not too bad. So who really knows on that? But it's actually not poop. It is just the sand itself. Now I do have a big old thing of ram's horn eggs over here on the wall. See if I can steady the camera. Sorry, my hands shake quite badly, so I'm constantly having to try to steady the camera for you guys. But there's a big old thing of ram's horn eggs, so I am sure that we will have ram's horn babies soon in here as well. Now I did throw a couple pinks in here, but I am getting blue leopard ram's horns next month. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll probably throw them in here. But these guys have been in here for 4 days, and I've done one water change, but they're doing really well. I set the tank up and let it cycle for a little bit before I put them in. It read fine, so we tossed them in the other day because I knew that I'd be getting the new Dumbos from the makeup shipment of fish, and they've been doing really well. Our colors are nice. Their colors are really dark, very vibrant. They've definitely gotten super dark, and I don't know if it's just because they're on the dark substrate or not. They almost look like a dark navy blue now, for all the ones that are blue. And the ones that had any red in their tails, they've kind of gone a rust color. So, and as you can see, the male is quite dark as well. So they've all gone quite dark, which has been an interesting turn. But other than that, they're doing really well. They're super healthy. They're always looking for food, as you can see. They're all pregnant. I have a couple that look like they're probably a couple weeks away. So I'm probably going to go ahead and toss in the breeder trap just in case. But yeah, this tank's always super fun. Always a good time. I like it in here too. It's in our living room. So when I'm sitting on the sofa watching TV, when there's commercials on, I can just look over at it, and these guys are big enough I can see them from across the room. So I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited to see not only what they have, but how this goes. And of course I have just the fluorescent bulb lighting on here, which is probably part of the reason why they're so dark. It's like an old fluorescent bulb. So I'm hoping I'll probably put the Koval on this one first before I get one for the other tank even. So I'm hoping to get one of those within the next month or so. And as you can see, I got a little bit of hornwort in here finally. I got a little bit of Christmas moss in here. And I have a spinning mass, like a rotisserie chicken, of guppy grass in here, which has doubled since I pulled it. And then of course we've got some frog bit on the top as well. So this tank's doing pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with how it's going. Hopefully we have babies soon. All the babies. I've got a waiting list of about 16 people currently waiting on these guys. So I'm really hoping that they have babies, and I'm hoping that the fry saver will save them. Because of course last round of babies they ate them all, despite being in a tank with a lot more plant coverage than this. So I'm gonna get that breeder trap in here to hopefully save some babies. And I'm planning on making a plant order for this tank probably this week. I'm gonna grab a lot more hornwort. I'm gonna grab probably a good amount of Java moss, and probably gonna toss some other stuff in here just to kind of give it a lot of plant coverage as well, so that babies can hopefully make it over to that safe haven. Now I do have a big breeding trap for in here, so it's a pretty good, it's the same size circle, but it's pretty tall, so hopefully the babies when they're born will scoot right in there to safety. And I suppose it'll be a case of the smartest will survive. And then of course once I can get them, pull them out, and I'll split them male and female once I can tell, just like I do with everybody else. Hopefully going to get a second tub. And when I get a second tub, I'll be bringing some of the females out to the second tub, because I've got 13 females now. So I think I'm pretty safe to try a tub with some females. So I'm pretty excited how it goes, and we'll keep you updated on the next Fishhaus Friday. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to post below. Make sure you visit us on Facebook at NC Guppy. And make sure to visit us on our website at ncguppy.com. I'm working on getting that up, so that's pretty exciting as well. Alright, see you guys next week for Fishhaus.